Hey guys, there are plenty of highlights to talk about in today's game. Wait, there wasn't. There's the first inning, but we have good news about Yordan Alvarez, and we're going to talk about that on this edition of the Locked On Astros podcast.
Alvarez, it's a high drive center field. Beer leans back. This game is turned upside down. There's the runner, fly ball down the right field line. Tucker comes on. Kyle Tucker. This time they finish the job.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on Twitter at Eric Talk Stros. Find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. And Brett, wait, you're not Brett.
I look a little bit different today, just a tiny bit.
Okay, so
not
you
much,
shaved the
though.
beard and everything. So we got Suzy Q joining us. Where can they find you on Twitter?
Bourbon in B-ball, and the letter N, not and. Or my personal Twitter, SuzyQ_111.
All right, guys. So thank you for making the Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Go ahead and subscribe to us on YouTube and go become an everydayer. Somebody listens to our podcast every day. And so go and make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. Go and check out the Locked On Astros podcast. And while you're doing that, go and swing for the fences on sleeper picks, and you could win up to 100 times your money. Download this sleeper app and use the promo code Locked On, and you'll get $100 match of your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 30 states. Check out Sleeper today. So we're going to talk about today's game. It wasn't the best game. You had the first inning, then the rest of it was like meh. Then you had some good news about Alvarez that kind of broke maybe midway through the game. So I guess the Astros brass was like, oh, we need to give the Astros fans something to be happy about. So we'll talk about that in a second. And are the Astros still dreaming of Dylan Cease? This is after John Heyman said, well, he's a little bit untouchable, but maybe he may not be that untouchable. He's just going to be really expensive. And then also, we don't know if Framber Valdez is going to make his next start. So these are a few things that we're going to talk about on today's Locked On Astros podcast. And Suzy, thank you once again for joining. And what were your thoughts of today's game overall?
Well, first, Eric, thanks for having me. I appreciate that. Today's game was uninteresting. Let's just be really honest. I was in the middle of making cupcakes with my twins while watching the game, and the first inning was so promising. They just came out of the gate just full on gusto, and I don't know if whoever has the Astros voodoo doll said, oh yeah, no, we're gonna pump the brakes here. Nope, they just too quick, that we're not doing that. But it just kind of fizzled after that. I mean, I don't know how many men we left on base. At least two.
I'm looking up right now. I didn't have box score up because it was very uninteresting. But Corey Jolt said that
at least 8.
Yeah, it was. They were 2 for 11 with runners in scoring position, and they left 7 runners on base on the game.
Yeah. So I'm glad to see that our boys are partaking in their favorite hobby ever of leaving men on base. We love that when they do that. And it's just so frustrating, especially when we know what this offense is capable of and just not pulling through like we wanted to. Unfortunately, got behind a little bit early with those long balls of Hunter Brown, but then he kind of locked it in afterwards, and I think he was like, oh, can't really throw how I'm normally allowed to throw in, lower elevations.
Right.
So I think he got that all figured out because how many strikeouts did he get? 7?
He was at 7 on the game. He allowed the 2 home runs in the first inning, but you could tell in the second inning he had a lot better movement on the pitches, and he looked like he changed his delivery a little bit. He had a little bit more confidence. I know he gave up the run in the 4th inning as well, but overall, he didn't have a terrible game. It was a bad start to the game. But
Yep.
if you only score 3 runs in the first inning, it's hard to win too many of those games. And if Corey Julks didn't have that line drive right to the second baseman, you could have got some more offense in the first inning. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough today. And the Astros go ahead and drop another game where the Rangers won again. And so now the Astros are 52-43 on the year, and they lose to the Rockies, who are now, they get their 37th win to 58 losses. And that's baseball. You never know what's going to happen. And even bad teams who go ahead and have a bullpen day where they start what was the guy's name? Jake Bird. And so he had no command. He hit, I think he hit Dubon, and then had a lot of guys. I believe in most of the innings, you had the leadoff guy reach base. So it was just an overall bad offensive game for the Astros.
Yep. And like I said, it's just one of those things where it's doubly disappointing that because we see what our offense can do. I mean, that Angel series, I think, what was it, 28 runs? Sorry, I'm not that kind of Asian. I can't do math that well, so sorry to disappoint. But it's one of those where, especially going into Coors Field, where you expect our bats to get hot and those balls to be flying out, and it just doesn't happen. And you're like, wah wah. Okay, cool. This is exactly what we came to Coors Field to see. So, hopefully tomorrow we can, I don't know, score some run for Belak.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. So McCormick got on base 2 more times today. He had a walk. He had a single. Also, you had Bregman with that double. He also had another single. And so you have some of the guys starting to get some hits. In fact, everybody had a hit except for in the starting lineup, except for Dubon. And then Pena looks like he's swinging out of his shoes a little bit too much. It was good to see him back in the lineup because he was dealing with that calf issue, not the cramping issue.
And cramping. And then there was like a neck issue or something. Had that amazing defensive play later on in the, what is that, 8th inning? 9th inning? 7th inning? One of those later innings. But just what are we doing, Pena? Like, that sophomore slump is hitting real hard. And I don't know if it's hitting extra hard because he played out of his mind last season. And so we're just like, Jeremy Pena, what's happening right now? And Chas McCormick, coming off the AL Player of the Week, and you're like, Chas, what's happening? That ball that just hit him, and I feel so bad because it's one of those where you're like, couldn't see it, and then it hit him in the face. I'm like, oh, add insult to injury. We love that for you, Chas. I'm so sorry. So it just, I don't know. It was a disappointing game all around. All around is a disappointing game.
Yeah, it's just one of those games that you just wish that, you're going to have those type games every once in a while, and you just have to kind of deal with them and just move on to the next game. So we will talk about Alvarez. We have a Yordan Alvarez update, and we'll talk about that in a second. We'll go ahead and talk about Urquidy, when is he going to make his next AAA start. So that's all stuff that we'll talk about in a second. But something that we all deal with, and no matter what stage you are in your life, whether you're a young kid or you're around my age or something, everybody deals with financial issues, and we all need a little bit of help. That's why Dave is great. Dave can can get you some cash when you need it between paychecks, and can even help you build credit by setting extra cash advance on time. Dave would be so useful if I get let's say I get towed, or I have unexpected vet bills, or just anything that happens. Life happens. Let's say you drop a ball in outfield and then you have to pay kangaroo court, something like that. You don't have the money for that. Go to Dave. So finances can be so intimidating. That's why you need Dave. Dave can make your managing your money so much easier with interest-free extra cash advance, fee-free goal tracking, and easy ways to find a side hustle to make more money. Dave is a banking app that's leveling the financial playing field. When you download Dave, you can get up to $500 in 5 minutes or less. No credit check, no late fees. It's part of Dave's extra cash account. Advance the money you need with no interest and then settle later. You can even build credit while you're settling up on time. So download Dave today on dave.com/MLB. That's dave.com/MLB. You can give up to $500 in 5 minutes or less. No credit check, no late fees. Download the Dave app now or go to dave.com/MLB. And guys, I know that we're all excited about seeing the Astros play again. The Rockies, tomorrow's game, it's going to be earlier start. It's going to be 2:10 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we're all going to be hoping that it's a much better game. Brandon Bielak is going to be on the mound, and you can catch all the action on SiriusXM. Just download the SXM app, and you can go and hear all the play-by-play. Just go and search Astros. So let's go and get to some good news. I know that Astros fans need some good news, and I know that Alvarez has been sidelined since June 8th with an oblique injury, and before today's game, Dusty Baker said, well, everything went as planned. He's still progressing. We don't know when we'll get him back, but hopefully soon. And before the game, it was like, we don't know. We don't know when he's going to be back. But I think it was like the 6th inning or something, we get an announcement from the Space Cowboys that basically says, Yordan Alvarez will be playing for us tomorrow. So get your tickets now.
Fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed. I don't know if I can give him my oblique or, well, my oblique would probably be better sized for Jose Altuve, but if I could do that, that would be delightful. I don't think it would probably work though, but I think we would all stand in line just to give over our obliques to either one of those players to get them back in the lineup together. That would be delightful.
So you can imagine that Alvarez is probably not going to play in the Oakland series just by doing process elimination. He's going to probably need 3 or 4 games to kind of test the oblique. So let's imagine in a perfect world, hypothetically, we haven't heard about Altuve at all, but what if we did see him take some batting practice today and take some ground balls? But what if during the Oakland series, he goes and gets some rehab assignment as well and plays some baseball? What if we get Alvarez and Altuve back in the lineup at the same time before we face the Rangers? Would that be good or bad, Suzy?
That would be delightful. Delightful, I say. And I mean, really, does Altuve need a rehab assignment? I mean, playing the Oakland A's is pretty close. That's mean of me to say. I'm very sorry, Oakland A fans, if any of you are listening. But I mean, really though, I realize that their pitching has gotten a tiny bit better, but really, just send Altuve to Oakland. Just let him DH. He doesn't need to play the field. Just let him DH, and that'll be his rehab assignment.
All right, where's the mute button? Yes, actually, he does need a rehab assignment, because even if you're just playing as DH, you're still coming up here, and you're trying to play to reach first place, and you're going to go all out here. While you're playing with Space Cowboys, it's like, oh, I'm just getting my reps in. I'm just trying to go out there, go through the motions, just try to practice, get ready to go up to the big time. And so there's a big difference of mental ability. I know Alvarez was able to really skip spring training the first time around and kind of just go up and not really getting a lot of that practice time. But I think with Altuve, especially with them both dealing with the oblique injuries at some point and just everything that they've dealt with, I think that they're going to be patient with them. But with as big as that Rangers series is, I would guess that they're going to try to get them both in the lineup at the same time. I haven't heard that. I haven't seen that anywhere, but that would be my best guess. So
yeah, that would be delightful to have them both in the lineup at the same time, because but then therefore then it creates another issue though, because that means one of the big bats that has been playing well will not be playing well, or will not be in the lineup.
Well, that brings up the chicken or the egg conversation. I'm totally kidding about that, but that's going to bring up the whole discussion is when everybody's healthy, is there a spot on this team for Martin Maldonado? I know Rob's not in the chat or anything right now. He'll be yelling at us and everything, but I think it's time for Martin Maldonado to take a back seat to Yainer Diaz. I know this is a game that Yainer Diaz started and the Astros lost this game, but I don't think it was because he was a catcher. If you saw, he actually prevented a run because he stopped the ball and made the runner not advance to home plate. I think that run didn't score, and I think that he hits better overall as a catcher. And if you look at Baseball Savant, you see that Martin Maldonado is just not the same player defensively as a catcher, everything. The only thing that he kind of ranks high on is still the pop time. And so I think what you're going to see is once everybody gets healthy, and I'm not talking about Michael Brantley, we don't know what's going on with Michael Brantley, but I think what you're going to see is maybe a transition of more Yainer Diaz starts as a catcher because you cannot take that bat out of the lineup. Caveats, they will rest Altuve and Alvarez a lot out of the gate, though.
Yeah. But, we have seen, literally we have seen where Dusty Baker is not going to do it. Not going to do it unless he is literally forced to. We had carried 3 catchers for a long time so that the lineup could be a little bit stronger, and it didn't happen. So I really, while I would love it, I would absolutely love it if Martin Maldonado gave his wisdom to Yainer Diaz from the bench. That would be delightful. Time and time again, it has been shown that it's really not going to happen that often. Prove me wrong. I would love it. I would love to eat crow and Dusty Baker be like, Suzy, you need to shut up. Nope. I'm going to show her, see what I can do. I would love it. Absolutely. But it is what it is. And, there's a horse and it's been beaten. So.
All right. Well, the Padres have DFA'd Roned Odor, so he's available.
Odor, yep.
So
he's not a catcher though. I thought he was.
I know.
Third?
I know, but he's available. No, he's not a catcher.
No. What is he?
Yeah.
Infield?
Yeah, he's infield. Yeah.
Okay. I don't remember.
He plays second base. Okay. I think he could play third base too, but he's somebody that I would never want on Houston Astros team. I don't care. I'd rather have Cody Bellinger on my team that's talked so much crap over the years than Odor. That would be the last person I would want there. But I just had to go and bring that up. And I'm not going to say to not get political, but because the Astros won a certain series last year, they're going to visit a certain house in Washington on August 7th. So that's all I'm going to say about that because I don't want to answer a lot of other questions about that. So let's go and move on to the next topic, which is Jose Urquidy is going to make his next start tomorrow, and it's going to be 11:30 game. A lot of people are going to be calling this the Yordan Alvarez start, but this Urquidy is also going to be making that start. This would be a second time. He did 2 innings last time, 32 pitches. So I think it's going to be 11 or 11:30. I heard two different times. I don't know, but that's still early start. So I know a lot of people are going to be getting out there to Sugar Land to watch those 2 major leaguers play baseball.
Yep, for sure. I'm stoked if we can get Urquidy back in this lineup. While he's not, like the difference maker that I think like McCullers or Luis Garcia would have been, he's definitely an innings eater. I hope that we can maintain a 6-man rotation and hopefully give that extra day of rest to Javi and then Hunter Brown coming up on innings, and then literally all the other guys, JP France and Brandon Ronell. But like, if we can hopefully give those guys some rest, hopefully the bullpen can get some rest. Maybe, just maybe, fatigue will not be an issue. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm excited to see what Alvarez can do. I don't think he's going to need a long stint in AAA, but I think with the oblique and with him, with as important as they are, as his bat is to the lineup, you see what Aaron Judge's absence has done to the Yankees. It's the Astros are still good enough offensively without Alvarez, but you need him in the lineup, and so it just really sucks to not have him in there. And so it's just something that the Astros are going to have to deal with for a little bit longer until they get this done. And so, guys, if you want the chance to win more money with less picks, head to Sleeper, where you can win up to 100 times your money on just 2 or more fantasy baseball picks. Did you see that Francisco Alvarez was going to hit 2 home runs tonight? Well, you could have gone ahead and selected that. Or what about Hunter Brown giving up 4 runs against the Rockies? There's so many different ways you can go and set your fantasy lineup. So you can go ahead and win 100 times your money on a daily fantasy baseball. Sleeper is now offering up to 100 times the payout for up to 8-pick contests. Choose as many 8 players that you like and pick more or less your favorite baseball stars stats like home runs, strikeouts, hits, and more. Get your picks right, and you could win big. So entries can be made in 30 seconds or less. It's that easy. You can safe and easy withdrawal, and you can use the promo code Locked On, and you'll get up to $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply, and see the Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 30 states. Check out Sleeper today. Locked On MLB Sleeper. Swing for the fences today. And guys, while you're swinging for the fences and you're watching the Astros hopefully battle back to their second World Series, why don't you go watch the games from Hooters? If you're actually not able to go to the game or watch the game on TV, go to Hooters. They have great wings, and you can meet your buddies there. Brett and I do that all the time. There's TVs everywhere, and they have great specials like BOGO wings on Mondays, Tuesdays. They have $9.99 burger and fries. Wednesdays is BOGO boneless wings, and Thursday they have $19.99 wings and Big Daddy bundle. And Friday, it's 1983 crab legs. And Saturday and Sunday is kids eat free. You want those kids eat for free, so take them in Hooters. So Hooters is a really good place to have fun. And Hooters has a happy hour Monday through Friday is 2 to 7 p.m. And don't forget that they have $3 Blue Moon drafts or $9.99 Michelob Ultra pitchers. No matter the occasion, Hooters is ready, and it's ready to make you happy. And if you go to NASA, they're doing a road trip on August 24th to the Red Sox, and they're going to sit down in section 133. You can go ahead and watch the game with the Hooters girls, ditch work, and go to the game with the world famous Hooter girls who can say they've done that before. Ain't no thing but a chicken wing tailgate on August 5th. Their parking lot events are always such a blast. So stop by Hooters on NASA and talk to Rosie and get your cook team registered while spots are still open. And in Pearland, don't forget about the Toys for Tots fundraiser on the 17th through the 31st, halfway to Christmas. For the 2 weeks, they will be collecting donation for Toys for Tots. So come hang out where Brett and I hang out to watch the Astros games. Great grub, and ask them what their featured beers are on tap, and go and hang out with the world famous Hooters girls. So Suzy, let's go ahead and get back to baseball, and let me get everybody back. So
before we get back to baseball, what is a Big Daddy bundle? I need to know this before we move on to the next.
You have to ask Brett. I don't know what it is off the top of my head.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay. So, I guess I'll just have to go to Hooters and ask for a Big Daddy bundle and have them tell me what it is. Okay. Got it.
Yes. So I do want to go ahead and address the big elephant in the room again, which is, are the Astros still dreaming of Hooter? I mean, not Hooter. I mean,
maybe they are. I don't know.
But about Dylan Cease still, I know that John Heyman said that they were untouchable. Him and then Lewis Roberts. You also had Andrew Vaughn and one other player I can't think off top. Oh, Eloy Jimenez. So those 4 players are technically untouchable, but that doesn't mean it won't work. So
They can be touched a little, though. I mean, like with the right players, they'll come on over. I mean, don't we all dream of Dylan Cease and Luis Robert? I mean, really. Will it deplete our farm system? Absolutely. Will I think it will happen? Honestly, I don't know. I'm not familiar enough with Dana Brown's game in order to kind of like judge like what he's going to do. Is he going to do, like I was going to say crane moves, not crane moves.
Right.
Who was our GM last season?
James Click.
James Click. Thank you. I'm like, not Lunau. Is he going to do like smaller moves like Trey Mancini and Christian Vasquez, or is he going to go get the big fish?
Right.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of like what the Braves did last season at the trade deadline, and I can't really think about that either. So it'll just be really interesting to see how he goes about doing it, because I really, really, really hope that he doesn't deplete the farm system, because we've lost those 2 years of picks. And it hurts a little, even though all of our players that have come up have done a great job. And even though they weren't on any lists. So I don't know. It's going to be a wild roller coaster of a ride the next couple of weeks, and I can't wait to see all of the other rumors swirling about to see where we're going to go and who we're going to go get. So
I know that Justin Verlander said that he's committed to see the Mets through a championship season, but the Mets are not a great team this year. And a lot of people are speculating that one of the $43 million fellas may be traded, and that's either Max Scherzer or Justin Verlander. So I don't know if the Astros would do it, but the reason why they could do it is they don't have the prospects to possibly go after Dylan Cease without depleting farm system, but they can take on the additional payroll and go ahead and take on a lot of that, the leftover money of Max Scherzer or Justin Verlander, and not have to give up the top prospects in return, just to take on some of that money. So that's an option. And so I know that Justin Verlander wants to see it through. Max Scherzer, I don't know what his frame of mind is. There's also Starling Marte that the Astros can go after if you want another center fielder with speed, something like that. But there are several options. Jordan Montgomery, Lucas Giolito. There's several names out there. It's hard to really focus, but we know that starting pitcher is definitely a need for this team. We saw what Hunter Brown did today. I know it was at Coors Field, and he didn't do terrible, but that first inning, I'm thinking, what if we face somebody that has a loaded lineup in the playoffs? Are you really comfortable having him as your number 3 pitcher in the playoffs?
No. Before the season, when we were looking at the lineup or the rotation, you're looking at Hunter Brown and you're like, that is a definite 5. Like I'm delighted the pitcher caliber pitcher of Hunter Brown is our number 5, and now all of a sudden in his second, quote unquote, second season, he's our number 3. You're like, well, that's a lot to put on a 23-year-old, 24-year-old shoulders, so no, we need at least another starting pitcher. I would love a 1 or a 2. That would be great, but I'll take a 3. I think Jordan Montgomery would be great over here. I don't know if we can fix Giolito, or Lance Lynn's name has been floated about as well. I don't know if I can handle Lance Lynn's antics after he pitches. Like just every I don't know if I can. Like just as the immature child that I am, just every time I don't think I can. Just hand to God. But that would be, I would be more comfortable with, a guy a little bit more established pitcher as our, number 3 than the 23-year-old rookie. That would be delightful.
So just for everybody that wants Dylan Cease, just know that it's going to probably cost you Drew Gilbert. It's probably cost you Spencer Getty. It's going to cost you Corey Lee and possibly 2 other players. So that's what it's probably going to cost you to get somebody like of his quality, because he's got another year of control. He's not a rental. So that's something the Astros need to take in consideration, and maybe multiple years of control. I don't have it in front of me, but also Dusty Baker said that Framber Valdez is not guaranteed to make his next start on Friday. So it's kind of up in the air. So
are they thinking that they want to push him so that he'll be able to start for the Rangers?
No, I think it has more to do with the cramp that he felt in the
Okay.
last start. So I think they're trying to see how he feels. So it says that they're not sure if he will make his next start, which is scheduled for Friday in Oakland. So it could be to hold him against the Rangers, but we don't really know. And the Astros have also signed 19 of their 20 prospects that they drafted, and they did go ahead and sign some players over the slot value. We'll probably talk more about that on the next one, but Chase Jaworski was the 5th rounder. The slot value was $360K. He signed for $850K. So to get him to stay out of high school, go to college, they had to go ahead and pay him over slot value. So that's the most notable one. We'll talk about the other ones on the next podcast. But Suzy, thank you for joining. Where can they find you on Twitter? Where can they find your podcast?
The podcast is called Bourbon and Baseball. I took a tiny little hiatus while I was finishing up my college algebra class and trying to find a new female co-host. So if you are a female that loves to talk baseball, not just the Astros, just like all of the teams, hit up your girl. You can find me at Bourbon in B-Ball on Twitter or my personal Twitter, SuzyQ_111. That's SUZY. Don't try it any other way. Then you won't get me. And you can find all of the podcasts on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube.
Okay. All right, Suzy, thank you for joining. And guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go and make us your first listen. And don't forget to catch all the action on SiriusXM. Just go and download the SXM app and go ahead and catch first pitch at 2:10 versus Rockies on Wednesday. Hopefully, Brandon Bielak is out there pitching better than we saw Hunter Brown do, but the offense has got to do better. So that's all we got. And thank you, Suzy, once again. And Brett will be back tomorrow. And that's all we got. And go Astros.
Thanks, guys. Night.